Hi, welcome back to the Spirit's Path. This is D, and today's card out of the Wildwood Tarot deck is Knight of Bows and Fox. And as I like, court cards can be tricky for me, but the way I like to explain it is, the Knight is symbolic of, they can be fighters or tacticians, and foxes to me, as this represents, is something that's very cunning and agile and very alert. And bows is all about fire and creativity and action. That's pretty much, around this card. And the thing I like about it too is, man, just look at that red velvet fur of that fox. And in the neighborhood where I'm at, I heard that, I went out running actually the other day, and I seen a fox that had been, hit by a car. And, didn't think too much of it. The township people came by and ended up picking up, the body, as they do with raccoons and possums and stuff like that. But, I was surprised to see that there was a fox in my neighborhood. And, behind me, there's a small park, there's some woods back there, there's a little pond back there. I have seen deer in the neighborhood. I've seen, tons of rabbits, squirrels, obviously, and, usually there's a robin chirping over my shoulder somewhere. But plentiful birds, everything like that. So, and when I first moved into this place, I did see a coyote. So it doesn't surprise me that, just outside the city of where I'm at, major city in Michigan, that I have some of these animals within, the environment. Now, I did hear the other day that there was also 4 babies, laying, crying at night, and we thought it was a cat. But you could hear them crying. So I don't know if that was their mother that got hit or their father or who's taking care of them. But people are alerted to this aspect that these little babies are out there, and I'm sure there's animals here that'll eat them up. So we're looking to help get those babies some sanctuary. All right, because right now they can't fend for themselves. They don't have that skill set. All right, like the mother or the father fox, because that's something that you learn. And as you're growing up, I'm sure for the animals it becomes instinctual, but you have to have somebody protect you, while you're young. The symbolism around the fox is, they're very cunning. They have that alertness, the curiosity, their wisdom, but they're also, playfulness. I know that, in the opportunities that I do have to watch them in their environment, they're hopping from log to log and they're running around and having a good time. A lot of movies portray them as, you set the foxhounds out on, on them for, hunt and everything like that, and it becomes a sport. That's how it is in, in England, where they show it in the movies and things of that nature. I don't know. I don't remember seeing that, happening over here in America, but, eventually, if you hunt everything down, it starts to become extinct. So, to see, a small litter of 4, from a family of foxes, to me, that's awesome, because it means they're replenishing. Knights are also good for letting you know that they're beginning a quest. And, those that follow me know that I study the Camelot Oracle too. And, that's all about Merlin and Arthur and, the court, the knights of the court. So, when I see a knight, whether it's bows or arrows or cups or stones, I always look at this as the opportunity of starting a new quest. This is a starting of a new quest with creativity, all right? The Knight of Bows especially is about action. It's a fire sign. It's an action sign. It's, let's get into going. Let's do this. Whatever that project is, whatever that relationship is, to meet new people, or, to start a new communication around something, to talk to somebody different, maybe, try a different social setting, get an understanding and some knowledge. All right. There are three characteristics of the court cards. The first one is, if this is a person in your life, okay, you have to look at somebody who's going to be very flamboyant, dynamic in the way they communicate. Could be somebody very impulsive. Hey, let's go to Burger King right now. Get something to lunch. Or, hey, I'm in the mood for Dairy Queen. Okay, let's go to Dairy Queen. They're very, let's do it right now. There's no planning involved. If there is, it's going to be a short-term plan, and it's going to like, I'm ready to do this. I'm ready to get into action. All right, and I'll figure it out. Figure out the details along the way. I'm gonna continue to move, and whatever happens, happens. They're not afraid to take that action because they know, based on their history and their experience, that whatever happens, happens, and I'll make adjustments along the way, and whether God will provide, the universe will provide. That could be looking at it that way, but it's also, I'll figure it out when I get there. I'll figure it out as I'm moving along. They're not somebody that is able to, sit back and do a lot of planning and put it off to the side. They want to take care of it now. Not that they're impatient. It's on their mind. Let's take care of it now, and we'll take care of business. They can be, this can be somebody that's very competitive too. They like to show that off. Okay, whether it's, let's say you got a new shirt. Somebody else, hey man, that's a nice shirt, and then they come in the next day and it's that shirt that they're wearing is just a little bit better than yours. There could be a little jealousy going on in that, and I talked about that last week. But, they'll be competitive in the aspect of, I can do that a little bit better. and they'll show it off, and they'll brag about it too. Hey, remember that project I did? Look how well I did that. All right, and I think I can do a better job than so-and-so over there. There might be some of that going on as well. So look for that person, that represents those traits and characteristics as a person. Now, if this is an aspect of in your life, it could be something where it's either you or the situation, could be witty. Could be a little bit maybe sarcastic witty. All right, maybe you said something to get a rise out of somebody. All right, it could be something that's very clever or innovative. All right, if you're thinking about a project or, maybe providing a subtle hint to somebody around something in their life, kind of like planting that seed. That would be the cleverness of that, of, planting seeds with somebody else and seeing if it takes hold. Have you ever thought about possibly doing it this way is the innovation piece, through communication and stuff like that. And again, that could be a person as well, dealing with something, maybe, helping you out on a project or, communication style or, how to communicate with, a family member, a significant other, or, in a social setting. All right. The Knight of Bows, that fox is a big improviser as well. They're not going to be, they won't follow a script necessarily. They'll like to talk, off their cuff and improvise, in their comments. They can improvise in their work habits, in their work schedule, all right? And still get the job done, but that aspect is, okay, I should do this at 8 o'clock in the morning, but, I got other things going on, I'll improvise and maybe I'll do it at 9 o'clock instead. All right, so that's kind of that aspect, for that Knight of Bows. And then if it's an event, usually it's an event, it's, travel's imminent, may not happen tomorrow, may not happen this week, but, there could be implications of travel where, hey, maybe you have to drive across state, for work or something like that, or maybe you have to pick somebody up and drop them off that was unexpected. As an event, it could be something that is supposed to happen and nobody's giving you a timeline on it, making you feel impatient, okay, because you're sitting there waiting. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I want to get this done. I'm all about action, all right? But if you have to sit back and wait saying, I know there's a conference call, but nobody's, what the heck's going on with this? You become impatient with that. That could be part of that event. And then it's, as an event too, because it's a fire sign, there is an opportunity to change things. Okay, so, maybe you're in that conference call and there's an opportunity to voice your opinion on something and make change for the better, or make change and influence for your job to be that better, or that project or whatever, not that you want to take the lead on it, but you're planting that seed, okay, as that aspect. So part of the court cards as well is, comes up with a couple of questions. Where do you need to be slower? As you go through your day tomorrow, as you go through your week, where do you need to slow down? Slow down your thinking. Slow down that action plan a little bit, okay? And, where do you need to slow down the creative piece, okay, to become more alert, to possibly look at a different angle, to influence somebody's on your, idea on a project, or, to influence somebody in a relationship, or influence somebody in a social setting, something like that, by being cunning and by being sly. And I don't mean, deceptive, okay, or stabbing people in the back, but, for everybody to succeed. And the other question is, what details are you missing? Look over the details and be detail-oriented, through that plan or through that communication style, or talking with your, in those relationships. Look at the details. Look at the writing. Think, clearly what you want to say and how do you want to say it. Choose your words wisely, because if you're always active, and you're so busy move, you're not thinking, okay, somewhere down the line that can bite you in the butt. All right, so that's the card of the day, that Knight of Bows, that fox. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Hit that like button for me, subscribe to the channel, and just as I did last week, I'm also going to do a blog on my website, thespiritspath.com, to give you a little bit better insight on how this Knight of Bows, this fox, is going to work itself out this week. And I'll pull the same oracle cards as I did this last week, and I'll have that blog posted, if not tonight, sometime tomorrow. So this is Dee for the Spirits Path. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, stay safe, and God bless everybody.